In 1981, the renowned demonologists Ed and Lorraine Warren found themselves immersed in one of the most disturbing cases of their careers, the exorcism of David Glatzel, an 8-year-old boy, in Brookfield, Connecticut. The Glatzel family, desperate and terrified, had sought their help after David began to show signs of demonic possession. During the exorcism, the tension in the room was palpable. The family, including David's sister, Debbie, her boyfriend Arne Johnson, and Father Gordon, watched in horror as the boy fought against an invisible force that was consuming him. In an act of desperate bravery, Arne, with tears in his eyes, challenged the demon, inviting it to enter his body instead of David's. At that moment, Ed Warren, with his experience in the paranormal, witnessed something that took his breath away. The demon left David's body and transferred to Arne. The impact was so intense that Ed suffered a heart attack and was taken to the hospital, unconscious and on the brink of death. A month later, Ed woke up in the hospital, weak but lucid. With a trembling voice, he revealed to Lorraine what he had seen. The demon had entered Arne's body. Lorraine, with a terrifying premonition, alerted the police, warning them that a tragedy would occur at the Glatzel house. Meanwhile, Arne and Debbie returned to their apartment, located above a kennel where Debbie worked. What followed was a descent into hell. Arne, increasingly consumed by the possession, began to feel unwell, as if a dark force were completely controlling him. In a fit of uncontrollable violence, he stabbed his landlord, Bruno Sauls, 22 times, a brutal act that left everyone horrified. With the support of the Warrens, Arne's case became a historic milestone, the first murder trial in the United States in which demonic possession was presented as a defense. The trial attracted national attention and triggered an investigation into David's original possession. The Warrens, determined to get to the bottom of the mystery, discovered that the curse affecting the Glatzels was linked to a witch's totem, a cursed object that had been intentionally placed by an occultist. This totem, imbued with dark energy, had unleashed a satanic curse upon the family, causing David's possession and, subsequently, Arne's. In their search for answers, the Warrens encountered Kastner, a former priest who had previously dealt with the Disciples of the Kingdom, a dark and dangerous cult. Kastner revealed to them that the totem had been left as part of an evil ritual, designed to sow chaos and suffering. The curse had not only affected David and Arne, but it had also left a dark mark on the entire Glatzel family. With each revelation, the case became more complex and terrifying. The Warrens knew they were dealing with forces beyond human comprehension, and that the battle against evil was far from over. Arne's possession, the murder of Bruno Sauls, and the curse of the witch's totem were just pieces of a sinister puzzle that threatened to consume them all. With determination and faith, Ed and Lorraine Warren prepared to face whatever came their way, knowing that the price of the truth could be higher than they had ever imagined. The Warrens, with the weight of the satanic curse and the Arne Johnson case still fresh in their minds, traveled to Danvers, Massachusetts, to investigate the mysterious death of Katie Lincoln. The young woman had been found stabbed 22 times, a number that ominously resonated with Arne's case. The local detectives had discovered a totem similar to the one found in the Glatzel house at Jessica's residence, Katie's friend, who had disappeared without a trace. Lorraine, with her unique gift for perceiving the supernatural, initiated a vision to recreate the events of the murder. In her vision, Lorraine witnessed a heartbreaking scene. Jessica, possessed by the same demonic force that had affected Arne, stabbed Katie in a frenzy of violence before fleeing and jumping off a cliff to her death. This revelation allowed the detectives to recover Jessica's body, but Lorraine knew that the true enemy was still at large. The Warrens headed to the funeral home where Jessica's body lay, and Lorraine, with unwavering courage, touched the hand of the corpse to try to track down the occultist behind the curse. In another vision, Lorraine was transported to a dark and sinister place, where she witnessed the occultist trying to manipulate Arne into taking his own life. With a desperate scream, Lorraine managed to interrupt the connection, saving Arne at the last moment. However, the occultist, aware of Lorraine's intrusion, threatened her from the shadows, warning her that the connection worked both ways. Lorraine, with her heart racing, told Ed what had happened, knowing they were playing a dangerous game with forces they didn't fully understand. Back at their home in Connecticut, the Warrens delved deeper into their investigation. Drew, a close collaborator, revealed a crucial finding: a Stygian witchcraft book that explained the curse could only be lifted if the altar used by the occultist was destroyed. This information gave them a new direction, but it also confronted them with a terrifying question: where was that altar, and what horrors would they have to face to destroy it? With each step, the Warrens delved deeper into a world of darkness and danger. They knew that the occultist would not stop until completing his ritual, and that the curse would continue claiming lives if they did not act quickly. Lorraine, with her visionary gift, and Ed, with his experience in the paranormal, prepared for a final confrontation that would test their courage, their faith, and their will to protect the innocent from the forces of evil. The battle against the occultist and his curse was far from over, and the Warrens knew that the price of victory could be higher than they had ever imagined. The curse that haunted the Warrens showed no mercy. Ed, always the more skeptical and stronger of the two, began to show signs of being affected by the darkness. A cursed totem was discovered hidden in a flower vase that someone had left in his house. The possession consumed him quickly, and in a moment of madness, he attacked Lorraine. Drew, alerted by the screams, intervened just in time to stop Ed, but the damage was already done. The curse had touched one of their own. While trying to understand the extent of the curse, the Warrens discovered that Katie, one of the victims, had studied at nearby Fairfield University. This led them to suspect that the occultist was operating in the area, using the students as part of his sinister ritual. Lorraine, desperate for answers, returned to Kastner, the former priest who had helped them before. With a face full of guilt and pain, Kastner revealed a secret he had kept for years. He had secretly fathered a daughter, Isla, violating the Catholic Church's vow of celibacy. Isla, fascinated by the occult since she was young, had followed in her father's footsteps in the study of the supernatural, but her curiosity led her down a dark path, ultimately becoming the occultist who now terrorized them. Kastner guided Lorraine to the hidden tunnels beneath his house, where he believed Isla had set up her altar. However, before they could act, Isla appeared and, in an act of revenge and desperation, killed Kastner. Lorraine, with a broken heart but determined, continued her search for the altar, knowing it was the only way to stop the curse. Ed, meanwhile, had briefly managed to free himself from the influence of the curse and, armed with a mace, entered the tunnels through a drainage hole. However, upon encountering Isla, he fell under her spell once again. In a terrifying moment, Ed tried to kill Lorraine, but she, with tears in her eyes, forced him to remember the moment they met, the love that united them, and the battles they had faced together. That connection was enough for Ed to regain control of himself. With trembling but steady hands, he destroyed the altar, breaking the power of the curse and freeing himself, Lorraine, and Arne from its influence. Isla, upon arriving at her destroyed altar, faced the wrath of the demon she had summoned. Without the complete curse, the demon turned against her, ending her life in an act of poetic justice. The darkness she had created finally consumed her. With the curse broken, Ed placed the altar cup in the Warrens' artifact room, alongside other cursed objects like the painting of Valak and the Annabelle doll. Although the battle was over, the scars remained. Arne was convicted of manslaughter, but thanks to the Warrens' efforts, he served a reduced sentence of only 5 years. During his imprisonment, he married Debbie, proving that even amidst chaos, love could flourish. In a moment of peace and reflection, Ed took Lorraine to a gazebo, similar to the one where they had kissed for the first time. With a tender smile, he reminded her that, despite all the horror they had faced, their love was unbreakable. Together, they had once again defeated the forces of evil, and they knew that as long as they were united, no curse could defeat them.